What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to the Full 90. It is time for Premier League Week 36 predictions. Real quick, flash up on the screen all the people that are supporting me over on the Patreon. If you want access to exclusive members tips and accumulators, I will be, after I record this video, posting for the Europa and Conference League finals tonight. If you want to get involved with that and find out what I'm tipping, then you can click that top link in the description to get involved. You also get a shout out in every single video and you will be supporting the channel. I really do appreciate it. And it is the day after the night before. As an Arsenal fan, again, a very frustrating watch in the Champions League where Arsenal lost 2-1 to PSG. And it's annoying because I know some people don't like XG, but it does sort of simulate what should happen if you play the game with the exact way it went X amount of times. You can get what you should expect the scoreline to be. And given that the penalty was saved, if we take that off, Arsenal win the XG 3-1, which on the night is enough to see them go through to the Champions League final. I just can't believe some of the chances they missed, but some of the saves Donnarumma made. Anyway, I'm done talking about the Champions League, at least until we talk about Arsenal later in this video. It's frustrating, but it is what it is. If Arsenal don't finish those chances, if Donnarumma has the game of his life every time he plays Arsenal or England, then so be it. The first game we have is Fulham up against Everton, and I think this is going to be quite a close one. There's not a lot for these teams to play for. Fulham should win, but I think Everton's defensive record and kind of play style can maybe cancel Fulham out. So I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw, and I'm going to tip the same tip I tipped over on the Patreon for the PSG Arsenal game yesterday. Both teams to score and under 3.5 goals at 3.25. It was 3 for the PSG Arsenal game, and that came in. It was 1-1 or 2-1 either way. And even though Arsenal should have scored more, but it is what it is. Fulham won, Everton won. Both teams scoring under 3.5 goals because I could see either team winning this 2-1. But I do quite like both teams to score in this one as well. After this, we have Ipswich up against Brentford. Ipswich coming from 2-0 down against Everton, who we just spoke about, to draw 2-2. And Brentford beating Manchester United 4-3. We tipped that Brentford would win with both teams to score by 1 goal. And the tip in the video was actually Man United +2 and both teams to score at 2.15, which came in. I like Brentford to win this one. I think they're going to batter Ipswich, but I'll give Ipswich a goal. I'm going to say 3-1 to Brentford, and the tip will be Brentford and both teams to score at 2.87. The odds aren't great, but I do think that's because it's fairly likely. Now, after this, we have Southampton up against Manchester City. Southampton still tied with Derby for the lowest points total in the Premier League. Part of me, I was like, obviously, the common score prediction here, the easy way out is like 3 or 4-0 to Man City, but part of me was like, what if this is just a random 1-1 draw? But the fact that there's just no jeopardy for Southampton here, they're already relegated. There's just no reason for them to get anything from a Man City side who have a lot to play for in terms of securing potentially second place in the Premier League, by the way, which is mental. Arsenal could finish 4th in a 2-horse race. Like, that's just mental. But either way, for that reason, I'm going to say Man City win this one 4-0. And to keep the 3-0 onside, I'm going to tip Man City -2 handicap at 2.4. After this is Wolverhampton Wanderers up against Brighton. Wolves lost 1-0 to Man City. It is what it is. What can you do? And Brighton drew 1-1 with Newcastle. I think this is going to be quite an entertaining game. I think there's going to be a lot of goals. Wolves should win, but I'm going to give Brighton their flowers and give them a point and say that this will be a 2-2 draw. But in case it's 2-1 either way, my tip is going to be both teams to score and over 2.5 goals at 1.95. The only way I see this not coming in is if it's a 1-1 draw. Very likely. If you just want to go both teams to score, by all means do that. But the odds are probably about 1.5, 1.6. So I'm boosting it up by about 50 cents for that third goal, whichever way it goes. After this, it is Bournemouth up against Aston Villa. Now, I'm pretty sure the likelihood is that 8th place in the Premier League will get Europa Conference League. And that is a tournament I could see Bournemouth doing well in. Now, will they get there? I don't know. Aston Villa's a tough fixture. Aston Villa have obviously secured European football with top 7 because they are so far ahead of Bournemouth in terms of points. Aston Villa should win this, but it's difficult to write off Bournemouth. Bournemouth doing the double over Arsenal, the only team to do the double over Arsenal this year. I guess you could argue PSG did the double over Arsenal, but then again, it's not quite the same thing, and Arsenal beat PSG earlier on in the year. For the league anyway, Bournemouth, the only team to beat Arsenal home and away. I think my gut kind of says 2-1 Aston Villa, but I'm going to go with a 1-1 draw. However, in case Villa do get the win, my tip is going to be Aston Villa double chance and both teams to score at 2.15. I don't think Aston Villa win this one to 0, But I really don't think Bournemouth are going to be able to beat Aston Villa when Villa are playing for that place in the Premier League as much as, if not more so, than Bournemouth. So I really like the tip. Above evens, Villa double chance and both teams to score. After this, we travel to St. James's Park for Newcastle up against Chelsea. This is a very big game, very important game. Chelsea will, of course, book their place into the Conference League final. Newcastle, a good season. Already won a trophy and looking like they're going to, well, maybe get Champions League. They should get Champions League, right? It'll be Liverpool, Arsenal, Man City, Chelsea, probably Newcastle. I think Forest and Villa will miss out on top 5. So I think Newcastle can get a win here. And I'm going to say that Newcastle win 2-1. But I'm not so certain on the result. You never know which Chelsea's going to turn up, honestly. I feel like I just have no idea with Chelsea these days. So I'm going to say both teams to score at 1.44. Has to be said, Chelsea got a brilliant win against Liverpool, albeit Liverpool didn't really seem to care because they've won the league. So you never know. But both teams to score at 1.44. Maybe chuck that in an acca somewhere. After this, it is Manchester United up against West Ham, barring a miracle at Old Trafford tonight. Man United will be in the Europa League final, barring a miracle in Bodo Glimt against Tottenham Hotspur. I do still think Man United are going to win. I just do. It's not like they have to rest players for the Europa League final. And I think at Old Trafford, they'll have good energy. I think they come out with a win 2-1. And I actually quite like the odds. Man United to win at 2. I really do quite like the odds. I could see Man United coming from behind. I think Man United to win and Jarrod Bowen to score. I think that looks really good. Both teams to score if you fancy West Ham. West Ham +2 and both teams to score. Let me look up the odds for that. West Ham +2 and both teams to score is 1.95. So pretty much the same odds of Man United to win. So if you don't really have faith in United and you think West Ham could get something, then for basically the same odds, you could do West Ham not to lose by 2 or more goals and both teams to score at about evens 2. I quite like that. I might do that as a double tip, which means for both to come in, both teams would have to score and United would have to win by 1 goal. But still, I think that could be pretty good. Man United and both teams to score is 3.75. I think there's a lot of value to be had in this game, depending on which way you go. But after that, we have Nottingham Forest up against Leicester. Leicester beat Southampton 2-0. Everyone beats Southampton. Nottingham Forest, they drew 1-1 with Crystal Palace. We tipped both teams to score an under 3.5 goals there at 3 and a 1-1 draw. We were spot on. I think Nottingham Forest win this one. I'm going to go 2-0. And the tip is going to be Nottingham Forest to win and under 3.5 goals at 2.15. The odds are pretty good because Leicester do ship goals for fun, but I don't think, it's not like Forest frequently score 4, so I'm going to go Nottingham Forest to win 2-0. After this, it's Tottenham up against Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace with an FA Cup final coming up. Tottenham, again, barring a miracle. I do think Bodo Glimt could win, by the way, just because they're used to their pitch and all that, and Tottenham just kind of suck, but Tottenham should be in the Europa League final. So both teams have a final on the horizon. I think Palace are better than Tottenham, which is hilarious to say, but I'm going to say a 1-1 draw. The tip is both teams to score at 1.5. And the final game of the week, it is Liverpool up against Arsenal. I don't know which way to go with this one. Liverpool are better than Arsenal, I guess. It's really difficult with the whole Champions League. PSG dominated Liverpool at the Parc des Princes and Liverpool won 1-0. Arsenal dominated PSG at the Parc des Princes and lost 2-1. Like, it's so frustrating that it didn't go Arsenal's way. But either way, I think the final between PSG and Inter is very intriguing. I actually can't pick a winner because you just can't write off Inter Milan. I know a lot of people will say PSG, I don't know if they're the favourites, but a lot of people will back them. I don't know, man. But for this game, maybe Liverpool win. I think Liverpool are the most likely team to win. But I'm going to go for a 2-2 draw. And the tip will be both teams to score an over 2.5 goals. The odds are 2. Arsenal's season is done. Of course, they're going for second. If they lose this, they're probably not even going to get second. So a point would be great. And that's what I'm going to go with, 2-2 between Liverpool and Arsenal. So that does it for this video. If you did enjoy it, please do drop a like, subscribe down below so you don't miss any future videos, and leave your predictions down in the comments. Over the next couple of weeks, we will have the finale of plenty of our series, Premier League, La Liga, Serie A, Bundesliga, Champions League. We will do the final videos for them, and then maybe some other different kind of football content over the summer. But like I said, that is going to do it from me, and I will see you in the next video very soon.